Did you see what happened after Munich Day 1? Because honestly, nobody expected Jimin's name to suddenly explode all over social media just hours after the concert ended. It wasn't an official announcement. It wasn't a new song release. And it wasn't even something that happened during the performance itself. Yet somehow, one unexpected moment involving Jimin spread across the internet so quickly that fans from completely different communities started talking about him. So what exactly happened? And why are so many people saying this moment perfectly explains why Jimin continues to capture everyone's attention wherever he goes? Stay with us, because this story became much bigger than anyone imagined. Hey guys, ARMY K-pop fans, and everyone in the Pop Signal family. Today we're talking about a moment that once again reminded people of something fans have known for years. Jimin has a unique ability to leave a lasting impression, even after the stage lights go down. Munich Day 1 was already special from the beginning. The atmosphere around the stadium was electric. Thousands of fans from different countries had gathered together, carrying banners, wearing purple, and sharing their excitement online long before the concert even started. You could feel that familiar energy that only BTS concerts seemed to create. It wasn't simply another stop on the tour. For many fans, it was a dream they had been waiting years to experience. As the time for the concert approached, social media feeds became flooded with videos of fans singing BTS songs outside the venue, exchanging photo cards, and counting down the minutes until the members appeared on stage. Among all those conversations, one topic continuously appeared: Jimin. It has almost become a tradition at this point. Before concerts, fans wonder what kind of look Jimin will have, what outfit he will wear, what expressions he will make during performances, and whether he will surprise everyone with a new detail that immediately becomes a talking point. And somehow he usually does. When the concert finally began, Munich erupted with excitement. The cheers were deafening. Fans who attended the show later said the energy inside the stadium was difficult to describe because everyone seemed to be singing, screaming, and laughing at the same time. Every member received enormous support, but whenever Jimin appeared on the giant screens, another wave of screams filled the venue. At first, it seemed like a normal concert reaction. Jimin is known for his incredible stage presence, and fans naturally become excited whenever he performs. But then something unexpected happened. As clips from Munich Day 1 started appearing online, more and more people began focusing on one particular aspect of Jimin's appearance and behavior during the concert. Suddenly, his name started climbing the trending charts. New posts appeared every second. Videos were being reposted repeatedly. Fan edits started spreading across multiple platforms. And this is where everything became even more interesting. Many fans noticed that Jimin looked especially relaxed and happy throughout the show. There was a sense of freedom in the way he smiled at the crowd, moved across the stage, and reacted to the members around him. It wasn't just about choreography or visuals. People kept mentioning his energy. One fan wrote that Jimin looked like someone who was genuinely enjoying every second of being on stage again. Another said his expressions reminded them of earlier BTS concert eras, when he often looked completely immersed in the moment and forgot about everything else. Soon, thousands of comments appeared saying similar things. He's glowing. He looks so happy. His smile feels different tonight. Why is Jimin making everyone emotional again? The conversation continued growing. And then another layer was added to the story. Several clips captured small interactions involving Jimin that fans considered incredibly heartwarming. During certain moments, he could be seen looking towards sections of ARMY and smiling warmly. In other clips, he appeared to laugh at something happening near him on stage. There were also moments when he looked around the stadium as if he was trying to take everything in. Most fans didn't notice this detail at first. But after watching the videos repeatedly, people began discussing how meaningful these little moments felt. Because concerts are not just performances. For fans, they're memories. For artists, they're reunions. And for BTS and ARMY, every concert after long periods of waiting carries emotional significance. That's why the reactions online became so intense. People weren't simply saying that Jimin looked good. They were saying that he looked genuinely happy. And that difference matters. As the hours passed, posts about Jimin reached even more audiences outside the usual K-pop communities. Casual listeners started asking why everyone was talking about him. People who hadn't followed BTS closely suddenly encountered clips from Munich on their timelines. Then came another surprise. Some of the most shared videos weren't even highly edited fan cams. They were simple recordings captured by fans in the audience. Yet those clips gained enormous attention because people felt they showed something authentic. They showed Jimin smiling. They showed him interacting naturally. They showed him looking completely present in the moment. And for many people watching online, that was enough. Because authenticity is powerful. In an age where almost everything on the internet feels carefully planned and heavily filtered, moments that seem genuine often resonate the most. Jimin's Munich clips carried that feeling. But that's not the whole story. Because another conversation suddenly started appearing across social media, and it made Jimin's name trend even more. People began discussing why Jimin consistently creates viral moments without actively trying to. Think about it for a second. How many times have fans seen a random expression from Jimin become a meme? How many times has one smile, one gesture, or one unexpected reaction generated millions of views? How many times has his name started trending because of something nobody predicted? Quite a lot. And Munich Day 1 seemed to become another example. Some fans even joked that Jimin has a special talent for accidentally creating viral moments. Others called it his main character energy. Of course, these comments were made affectionately, but they reflected something real. There is something about Jimin that captures people's attention. Maybe it's his expressiveness. Maybe it's the emotional sincerity people sense from him. Maybe it's the contrast between his powerful performances and his naturally warm personality. Or perhaps it's a combination of all those things. Whatever the reason may be, Munich Day 1 once again reminded everyone that Jimin's impact goes beyond the stage itself. And just when fans thought the night couldn't become any more memorable, another detail started making rounds online. Some people pointed out that despite performing in front of thousands of people, Jimin still seemed attentive to the audience around him. Tiny reactions, brief smiles, and small gestures became subjects of discussion. It sounds simple, but that's precisely why fans found it meaningful. Because small moments often become the moments people remember the longest. One person online said they couldn't stop replaying a short clip of Jimin smiling toward the crowd because it somehow made them feel included, even though they were watching from another country. Another fan said seeing him appear so comfortable on stage made them unexpectedly emotional. These reactions may seem dramatic to outsiders, but longtime ARMY understand exactly why such moments matter. BTS and ARMY have spent years creating memories together. Every concert contains stories. Every interaction carries meaning. And every smile can remind fans of previous eras, previous performances, and previous moments that shaped their experiences as fans. That's why the Munich conversation continued growing. But here's the thing. The trending topic wasn't only about nostalgia. There was another reason people couldn't stop talking about Jimin. And surprisingly, it had a lot to do with timing. Because Munich Day 1 happened during a period when excitement surrounding BTS activities has been especially high. Fans around the world have been paying close attention to every update, every appearance, and every interaction involving the members. As a result, moments that might normally stay within fandom spaces now travel much further across the internet. That's exactly what happened here. One clip became several clips. Several clips became hundreds of reposts. And before anyone realized it, Jimin was trending once again. But perhaps the most fascinating part of this entire story is the emotional response. People weren't only sharing videos. They were sharing feelings. They were talking about happiness. They were talking about comfort. They were talking about how seeing Jimin smiling made their own day better. And honestly, that's probably why this moment resonated with so many people. Because beyond charts, numbers, and trending topics, music communities often revolve around emotional connections. And somehow, Munich Day 1 seemed to create one of those moments that reminded fans why they became attached to these artists in the first place. However, something else was still developing online. A new discussion had just started gaining attention. And what fans noticed next about Jimin's Munich appearance would make this story even more interesting. A new discussion had just started gaining attention. And this time, fans were focusing on something that wasn't immediately obvious during the concert itself. As more fan cams emerged from different sections of the stadium, people began noticing how differently Jimin appeared, depending on where the videos were filmed. In some clips, he looked incredibly powerful and charismatic, commanding the stage with the kind of presence that made it impossible to look away. But in other videos, there was a softer side of him. He was smiling quietly, exchanging glances with the members, and occasionally looking out at the sea of purple lights, as if he wanted to remember every second. This contrast immediately became a topic of conversation. One fan posted, "How can one person look like a superstar 1 second and then look like the softest person in the world the next?" That post quickly gained attention. Then another person replied, "That's literally Jimin. He has always had this ability to be both incredibly powerful and incredibly gentle at the same time." Soon, thousands of fans joined the discussion. And honestly, this wasn't really a new conversation. ARMY have talked about this aspect of Jimin's personality for years. But Munich Day 1 somehow brought those feelings back to the surface. Maybe it was because fans had been waiting so long for moments like these. Maybe it was because seeing BTS together on stage again still feels emotional to many people. Or maybe it was because there was something particularly genuine about Jimin's expressions that night. Whatever the reason, people simply couldn't stop talking about him. At first, many assumed the trend would disappear after a few hours, just like countless topics on social media do every day. But the opposite happened. The discussions became bigger. Even more clips appeared online. Fans started creating compilations dedicated entirely to Jimin's expressions during Munich Day 1. Some videos focused on his smiles. Others highlighted his reactions to ARMY's cheers. Some simply showed him standing on stage, looking around the stadium while thousands of people screamed his name. And surprisingly, those simple videos continued receiving enormous engagement. This is where things became even more interesting. Because the more fans watched these clips, the more they began talking about something deeper. They started discussing growth. Several longtime fans mentioned how emotional it felt to see Jimin looking so comfortable and confident on stage. If you followed BTS for years, you'll probably understand why. Throughout his career, Jimin has spoken openly on several occasions about working hard, putting pressure on himself, and constantly wanting to improve. Fans have watched him evolve through different eras, different concepts, and different stages of his life. They've seen his incredible highs. They've also seen moments when he looked exhausted or worried. That's why many fans felt emotional during Munich Day 1. Because when they looked at him smiling on stage, they weren't just seeing another performance. They were seeing someone who had traveled an incredibly long journey. One comment that spread online said, "I've watched Jimin grow up in front of us. Seeing him this happy makes me emotional." Another fan wrote, "He looks like he's simply enjoying being there, and honestly, that's all I wanted." Thousands of people agreed. And suddenly, what began as a trending topic about a few viral clips became something much bigger. It became a conversation about memories, about time, about watching someone grow while feeling like you've grown alongside them. This is one of the reasons BTS concerts often feel different from ordinary performances. For many people, they're not just entertainment. They're chapters. Every era means something. Every concert creates memories that become attached to certain moments in fans' lives. And Munich Day 1 was beginning to feel like one of those unforgettable chapters. But then something unexpected happened again. Fans who attended the concert started sharing personal stories online. Some described traveling across countries just to attend the show. Others said they had saved money for months. Some revealed it was their first BTS concert ever. And interestingly, many of those stories mentioned Jimin. One fan explained that seeing Jimin smile during the concert suddenly made all the waiting worth it. Another person said they unexpectedly cried when they saw him waving toward the audience. Someone else admitted they didn't understand why they became emotional until hours later. Reading these stories created another wave of reactions. Because suddenly, people weren't only talking about viral clips anymore. They were sharing experiences. They were sharing emotions. And those emotions continued spreading across the fandom. Here's something fascinating about moments like this. Sometimes, an artist doesn't need to make a grand speech. They don't need to do something dramatic. Sometimes, simply looking happy can have an enormous impact on people who care about them. That seems to be exactly what happened with Jimin. The more videos appeared, the more fans felt reassured somehow. Reassured that he was enjoying himself. Reassured that he seemed comfortable. Reassured that he looked genuinely immersed in the concert. Those feelings may be difficult to explain to people outside fandom culture, but they make perfect sense to fans who have followed artists for years. Because people naturally become attached to memories. They become attached to journeys. And seeing someone they admire look genuinely happy can unexpectedly affect them. However, that's still not the entire story. Because another detail from Munich Day 1 was quietly becoming one of the most discussed topics online. Most fans didn't notice it immediately. It wasn't shown in every video. And because of that, people became even more curious. Clips started circulating showing brief interactions between Jimin and the other members during the concert. Tiny moments, quick smiles, short exchanges, small reactions. Yet fans replayed these clips over and over again. Why? Because these moments reminded people of something they deeply missed: the chemistry between BTS members. One of the reasons BTS has maintained such a strong connection with fans over the years is because their relationship feels genuine. Their interactions often appear natural and comfortable rather than rehearsed. And Munich Day 1 seemed filled with these little moments. Whenever fans noticed Jimin laughing at something another member did or smiling during a brief interaction, they became excited all over again. Soon, entire discussions appeared dedicated to these tiny details. Did anyone notice Jimin's reaction here? Look at his expression in this clip. I can't stop watching this interaction. The conversations seemed endless. And perhaps that's the beauty of BTS concerts. Everyone notices different things. Some people focus on performances, because at the end of the day, that's what so many fans carry with them after concerts end. Not just the performances themselves, but the emotions they experienced during those performances. The laughter, the anticipation, the memories shared with friends, the moments that unexpectedly made them smile or even tear up. Munich Day 1 gave people all of those things. And somehow, Jimin's presence became one of the symbols of that experience. As we look back at everything that happened, it's easy to understand why his name suddenly started trending. Not because something unbelievable happened, not because there was a major announcement, but because sometimes a person simply shines so brightly in a moment that people everywhere want to talk about it. And that's exactly what seemed to happen in Munich. To everyone who attended the concert, we hope those memories stay with you for a very long time. And to everyone who experienced the night through live streams, photos, and fan cams, hopefully those little moments brought some happiness to your day too. Because years from now, many people may not remember every detail of what trended online, but they will probably remember how they felt while watching those clips from Munich and seeing Jimin smiling on stage. And honestly, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's what makes moments like these meaningful in the first place. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, because it really helps our channel continue bringing you stories from the world of K-pop and BTS. Subscribe to Pop Signal and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest updates, memorable moments, and fascinating discussions about your favorite artists. And now we want to hear from you. What was your favorite moment from Munich Day 1? Was there a specific clip or interaction involving Jimin that made you smile or become emotional? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because we'd love to read your stories and experiences. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today, Pop Signal family. Take care, stay happy, keep supporting the artists you love, and we'll be back very soon with another story from the world of K-pop that you definitely won't want to miss.